Dear student, in this lecture video, we studied about the definition of voltage regulation, significance of the voltage regulation, and then how to determine the voltage regulation by EMF method. Okay, now the definition of voltage regulation. The voltage and regulation of synchronous generator is defined as the rise in voltage when the load is reduced from full load to no load, keeping the field excitation, that is field current, and then speed constant, that is without change in speed and field excitation. The formula of voltage regulation is E naught minus V divided by V into 100. The voltage regulation is also called as a regulation. The unit of the voltage regulation is in percentage only. In the regulation formula, the E naught represents the no load voltage per phase or no load induced EMF per phase, and then the V, capital V, represents the terminal voltage or full load voltage or rated voltage of the synchronous generator per phase. Now we studied about the significance of the voltage regulation. Okay, the voltage regulation mainly depends upon the power factor of the load. For lagging power factor load, the no load induced EMF E naught is always greater than terminal voltage V, hence the voltage regulation is always positive. The second one is the for leading power factor load, the no load induced EMF E naught is always less than terminal voltage V, hence the voltage regulation is always negative. For unity power factor load, the no load induced EMF E naught is always greater than V, hence the voltage regulation is positive. Okay, so for both lagging power factor and unity power factor, the voltage regulation is always positive. For leading power factor is always negative. The terminal voltage V of a synchronous generator changes with the application of the load across the output terminals. The change is due to the voltage drop in the windings and the effect of the armature reaction. So this is the significance of the voltage regulation. Now we studied about the EMF method. The another name of EMF method is synchronous impedance method. Why it is called synchronous impedance method? This method is used to determine the synchronous impedance. Therefore, this method is also called as a synchronous impedance method. So, another name of synchronous impedance method, that is the pessimistic method. Why it is called pessimistic method means this type of method is used in the non-salient pole type of synchronous generator, that is cylindrical rotor type synchronous generator. This method is used to determine the unsaturated synchronous impedance ZS. That's why this method is also called as the pessimistic method. What is the concept of EMF method? So the EMF method is mainly depends on the concept of replacing the effect of armature reaction by an imaginary reactance. Under EMF method, what are the things we studied? DC resistance test, open circuit test, short circuit test, calculation of synchronous impedance, assumption in the synchronous impedance method. Okay, now before we are going to conduct the EMF method by using the circuit diagram. So what are the tests are required to measure the synchronous impedance? DC resistance test, open circuit test and short circuit test. Now you see the circuit diagram. The circuit diagram is used to determine the DC resistance of the synchronous generator. From this we can calculate the effective value of the AC resistance per phase of the synchronous generator. Now you see the circuit diagram. This is the rotor of the synchronous generator which is kept open. Star connected armature, that is the stator of the synchronous generator. The ammeter is connected in series with any one of the face of the armature, and then the voltmeter is connected. The voltmeter is connected across the voltmeter is connected across the any one of the face of the synchronous generator. This is the variable rheostat. This is the DC power supply. The DC power supply is given to the armature of the synchronous generator, and then you can vary the variable rheostat from minimum position to maximum position. You note down the corresponding ammeter value and then voltmeter value, and then tabulated them. The DC resistance of the synchronous generator is measured by using two methods. One is ammeter voltmeter method, another one is Wheatstone bridge. Here we are using the ammeter and voltmeter method only. The effective value of the AC resistance of the armature of the synchronous generator is larger than the DC resistance because of skin effect. The effective value of AC resistance per phase is mainly depends on the size of the machine. RA is equal to 1.20 RDC from and then 1.75 RDC. In between these value only we have to choose the effective value of AC resistance per phase of the synchronous generator. But typically we can choose the effective value of AC resistance per phase of the synchronous resistance RA equal to 1.25 into RDC. So by using DC resistance test, we can calculate the effective AC resistance per phase, that is RA equal to 1.25 RDC. Then open circuit and short circuit test. Okay, so the previous lecture video we studied about the procedure of how to conduct the open circuit and then short circuit test, how to give the connection also. Just I give the idea. Okay, so now you see the circuit diagram. With the help of the prime mover, we can give mechanical input to the synchronous generator. And then with the help of prime mover, we can start the synchronous generator. Both are run at the rated speed. You can vary the field rheostat from maximum position to minimum position. Note down the corresponding the field current IF and then corresponding open circuit voltage per line, that is the line value of the open circuit voltage by using voltmeter and ammeter respectively, and then tabulated them. This reading, this OC test is conducted until the 110% of the rated voltage is reached. After finishing the open circuit voltage, the field rheostat brings to its original position, that is the maximum position. Now we close the DPST switch. By using the field rheostat of the alternator, we set the rated current in the ammeter. Now you can note down the corresponding field current and then rated current and then tabulated them. From the open circuit and then short circuit data, we draw the open circuit characteristics and then short circuit characteristics. The open circuit characteristics is drawn between the E0, which is along the y-axis, and then field current IF is along the x-axis. The short circuit characteristics is drawn between the short circuit current ISC is taken along the y-axis, and then the field current is taken along the x-axis. Okay. So now the AC represents the short circuit current under short circuit test. The AB represents the open circuit voltage under open circuit test. The OA represents the field current, which is same for both rated voltage under open circuit test and short circuit current under AC test. Now we calculate the synchronous impedance. How to calculate the synchronous impedance? From the characteristics curve, we draw the over synchronous impedance ZS per phase equal to open circuit voltage per phase divided by short circuit armature current for the same value of field current IF. From the OC and SC characteristics, ZS is nothing but AB divided by AC. Okay, so AB is the open circuit voltage per phase, AC is the short circuit current per phase for the same value of IF. IF is equal to OA. Now, the synchronous impedance ZS equal to root of RA squared plus X squared. This is the another formula. Normally, impedance is the combination of resistance and reactance. If we know the value of synchronous impedance per phase ZS from the OC and SC characteristics, and then the RA value is determined by the DC resistance test. Now we calculate the synchronous reactance per phase ZS is equal to root of ZS squared minus RA whole squared. Now, what are the assumptions made in the synchronous impedance method? Okay, so the first one is the synchronous impedance ZS is constant. Okay, the ZS is constant. Then because from the OC and the SC characteristics only we can calculate the ZS, it should be constant only. Second one is the flux under the test condition is same as that of the under loaded conditions. That means the effect of armature reaction. Already told the concept of synchronous impedance is nothing but the what? The concept of effect of armature reaction which is removed by the imaginary reactance only. Okay. Now, the flux under the test conditions is nothing but the effect of armature reaction plus is replaced by the voltage drop which is proportional to the armature current IA. Then the armature reaction voltage drop, that is IaRa drop, is added to the armature reactance voltage drop, that is IaXX drop. Okay, the magnetic reluctance to the armature flux is constant because of the power factor of the load. Okay, for synchronous generator can be operated at all the three power factor: unity power factor, lagging power factor, leading power factor. Okay, so therefore if the synchronous generator operated at a lagging power factor means the effect is demagnetizing effect. If the synchronous generator is operated at, that means the leading power factor, that is the magnetizing effect. If unity power factor means cross magnetizing effect. So the armature reaction effect is nothing but magnetizing, demagnetizing and then cross magnetizing based on the power factor of the load. Okay. Now, how to determine the voltage regulation by using a synchronous impedance method or EMF method? If you want to determine the voltage regulation, so what are the data required? First one is armature resistance per phase, RA, that is the effective AC resistance value of the armature per phase which is determined by the DC resistance test. Second one is open circuit characteristics. From the open circuit characteristics is obtained by the OC test, by the conduction of OC test. Short circuit characteristics is obtained by the short circuit test. By using open circuit and then short circuit characteristics, we calculate the synchronous impedance ZS. We know the value of ZS and RA, then we can calculate the synchronous reactance XX per phase. Now you see the formula. From the synchronous impedance method, we calculate the no load induced EMF, that is E naught. The formula is E naught equal to general formula root of V cos pi plus IA RA the whole squared plus V sin pi plus or minus IA XX the whole squared. In this formula, plus sign for lagging power factor, minus sign for leading power factor. For unity power factor, V sin phi term goes to 0 value. So, by using synchronous impedance method, from the open circuit and then short circuit test, we calculate the ZS. RA is calculated by using DC resistance test. From these two values, we can calculate the XX. All the values you substitute in the formula, we are getting E naught. We already know the terminal voltage V from the nameplate detail of the machine. And then in problem is given in the problem also. Now we calculate the voltage regulation equal to E naught minus V divided by V into 100. So what is the advantages and the limitation of the synchronous impedance method? The advantages is at any loaded conditions we can calculate the synchronous impedance ZS. Therefore, we can calculate the regulation of the alternator at any loaded conditions, and then the load power factor can also be determined by using this method. Then the actual load need not be connected to the alternator, because open circuit test we can remove the load, disconnected the load. Short circuit test only short circuited the terminals. Okay, so therefore the actual load need not to be connected to the alternator. This is the advantage. So therefore we are getting very high capacity alternators. Limitations. This method is used, actually the limitation means this method gives large values of synchronous reactance XX. This is the disadvantages. Because reactance is increasing means the drop also increasing, finally the efficiency reduces, and then the regulation if increases means this is the which is used to reduce the lifetime of the machine also. I already told why this method is called as the pessimistic method, means the synchronous impedance, this method, that means leads to high value of the percentage regulation than the actual results. That's why this method is also called as the pessimistic methods.